Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be comparing the all-new Honda CR-V Hybrid to the regular Honda CR-V. Before we get this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Stockton 12 Honda here in Utah for giving me some time with both of these CR-Vs. These are actually their demo CR-Vs, so if you want to come and compare the regular CR-V with the Hybrid back-to-back, just like what I'm doing today, then give them a visit. I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below. Ask for John if you have any questions. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. Starting under the hood of the regular CR-V, we have a turbocharged 1.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT automatic. Fuel economy is 27 around town and then 32 on the highway, with power outputs being 190 horsepower and then 179 pound-feet of torque. Now popping over to the hybrid, we have a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder that's paired to a CVT and a hybrid system. This hybrid system has two electric motors, which gives it 204 horsepower and then 247 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is 40 around town and then 34 on the highway. Now before we dive deeper into the video, I do want to mention if you see more content just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post videos every single day. Now something to mention is both of these have a slightly different package. This is an EXL and then this is a Sport Touring. So the first big difference that I noticed is look at the grille here on the EXL and then look at everything here at the bottom and then compare that with the hybrid Sport Touring. You can see that the grille design a little bit different, and then also everything here at the bottom a little bit different as well. The other key difference that I noticed is our tire and wheel setup over here is 235/60/18, but over here it is 235/55/19, so slightly bigger wheel, less sidewall, slightly smaller wheel, a little bit more sidewall, and then obviously that one's silver, whereas on the Sport Touring blacked out. And then you can see that the mirror cap here is body painted, and then we've got like the silver trim around. Still have silver trim around on the Sport Touring, but the mirror cap blacked out. And then notice the badges here on the regular CR-V are blacked out. And then on the Sport Touring, they're actually chrome, and you got a hybrid badge, obviously. So that's kind of interesting. And then another key difference, look at the exhaust tips there, and then look on the Sport Touring, how they have nice covers over them. Now something else that's pretty interesting is you notice that the key fobs are completely the same. Like there is nothing different from them. However, on the regular CR-V, you guys can see I can pick up the loading floor and I got a spare tire underneath that. But in the hybrid, this is surely where they put some hybrid stuff because, well, I can't pick up the floor whatsoever, so a little bit less storage. Now the next key difference is going to be the interior. So here's the backseat area of the regular CR-V, and just notice the material use and the coloration on everything. Looks fantastic. And you guys can see the vents there. Space is going to be the same, but just pay attention to the interior layout. And you can see here with the hybrid, there are some similarities, but notice coloration completely different. And look at like the overall theme, just significantly different. And got some vents, USBs, all that. But like I said, space in the back is the same. Let's start things off by going over some key features here in the regular CR-V. So you guys can see really nice steering wheel, adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist, steering assist actually, which is pretty cool. And then look at the gauge cluster here. And notice you got normal, you got an econ, and then you got a snow mode that you can go into with the drive modes. It does come with stuff like memory seats, and if we pop it into reverse, we got a nice backup camera there. And then this is Honda's newer infotainment system, which responds really well, and it's got an analog control for the volume, which I'm always a big fan of. Dual zone climate, you got heated seats, wireless phone charging pad on top of that. And then just kind of pay attention to the shifter area here. So here's the shifter itself. Notice we do have hill descent control. We got auto stop start if you can turn that on or off. And then decent sized center console. And then yeah, look at the design here. And of course got the mega vent just like the Civic. And then this particular one does have a sunroof, as you can see, control ports just right there. No engine sound this time. Now you will notice a lot of similarities, but first off, look at that heated steering wheel button on the steering wheel. And then if we take a look at the gauge cluster, a little bit of a different setup, because notice how it shows us what's happening with the hybrid system, since this is a hybrid versus, you know, the regular stuff. You're going to see like RPMs on the other one. And then notice with the drive modes, we actually get a sport mode as well. So you can see that's a little bit different. And then how it also animates for the drive mode itself. That is also different here in this hybrid Sport Touring. Still get stuff like the memory seats and still have the camera system here, as you can see. Notice it's making a sound though, if you heard that. because it's in full electric mode. Infotainment system's pretty much the same. Still have dual zone climate controls here with heated seats as well. And then this area is pretty much identical. You guys can see you got like wireless phone charging pad, you got a drive mode select with the hill descent control, and then center console setup and everything. And then again, look at the dash there. Glove box is the same, even though I didn't show the glove box in the other one. And then this one also does have a sunroof, then you guys can see with the sunglass holder and then the control for the sunroof. Now the next key difference is going to be pricing. So the regular CR-V with the packaging that it has, stickers for $36,900, whereas the hybrid stickers for $40,200. So the hybrid is a little bit more expensive. And with that being said, let's take them out, drive them, and see how they drive compared to each other. So we're actually going to start off in the regular CR-V and then we'll go over to the hybrid because I've already driven the regular CR-V. I have not driven the hybrid yet. So I just want to get a feel for the regular one first before I go over to the other one to give you guys the best possible driving impressions. And I guess I got to get my seat set a little bit differently so you guys can see the steering wheel a little bit better. First off, with the CR-V, seat comfort's actually really good. Nice that I have heated seats. I'm actually going to turn that on. I don't know why I don't have the heated seat on for the passenger side. That's not necessary. But yeah, the seat comfort's actually really good with the new CR-V. I wouldn't say that Honda seats have ever been uncomfortable. They're actually really good with designing nice, comfy seats, but I feel like they've done a good job here. Okay, so we are setting off in the regular CR-V officially, and first off, pretty good torque out of this turbocharged engine. Again, both of them go through CVTs, and so you kind of, at least with this one, obviously I haven't driven the hybrid yet, you can feel that it's a CVT. One thing I will say, I really like the steering. Again, this is, not supposed to be like a sporty car or anything like it's a CR-V, but the steering actually has like a nice weight to it, which I appreciate. Now I know earlier I said that this doesn't have a quote-unquote sport mode. It does have an S mode, which is your sport mode. So if I pop into that S mode with the shifter, that's popping it into the sport mode. It doesn't have like a cool official drive mode in the gauge cluster. And I'm not sure which tachometer I like more. I do like how the hybrid information is displayed and how that looks. I think that's pretty neat. But I do like this more traditional, like just RPMs and speed. Okay, so that's just partial throttle. I think that'll be the biggest difference is the acceleration feel with both of them. Again, turbocharged engine versus a naturally aspirated engine with a hybrid system. The acceleration should be quite substantially different. I imagine that that one's going to feel punchier initially, but then this one's probably going to feel punchier like longer, if that makes sense. We're going to let that Tundra go by and then we'll get on it. Okay. Yeah, pretty good with the acceleration. Again, turbocharged engines are great for high elevation places like here in Utah because you don't lose nearly as much power. And so that'll be another interesting thing to see because the electric side of the hybrid system obviously won't have any issues with higher elevation with power loss, but the naturally aspirated engine will have a little bit of power loss up here. So with the regular CR-V, basically it's just a really good, comfortable SUV. Acceleration's fine for the segment. It gets good fuel economy. I think that it looks good, and they both pretty much look the same, so like it's not like you're getting better looks with one or the other. There are some slight differences. The hybrid does have some little touches, right, like those exhaust tip covers that make it look a little bit more premium, but overall they're both good looking. And so yeah, let's go pop into the hybrid and see how it performs. First off, I want to mention that I am going to be using this same video for my CR-V hybrid review with the driving impressions. However, the video is going to be a little bit longer for the comparison video between this and the regular CR-V because I'm going to include an after clip in this driving portion, if that makes sense, to talk about both the vehicles. Now, something that I missed in the walk-around comparison is this actually has, so you've got drive and then you have a B down below, which is, I assume, going to be a little bit more aggressive with the kind of like braking. But then on the regular CR-V, you have a D, an S, and an L. The S is like your sport mode, whereas this one you have the sport mode with the toggle switch, and then the L is again kind of like more aggressive, not with the gearing because as a CVT, but basically make it so that it keeps the engine at higher RPM, so then you can kind of engine brake a little bit more. Hopefully I got that right. If I got it wrong, let me know in the comment section below. But well, once this traffic goes by, we'll set off. Okay, so initially getting up with the hybrid, we are currently not in full electric mode because it doesn't say EV, but This thing's really smooth. Like, it's quiet. Can hear the engine a little bit on occasion, but for the most part, it's a lot quieter. Suspension, all that feels the same between both of them. I love the steering here on the new CR-V overall. It feels about the same in terms of steering. It has like this nice weighted feel when you go around the corners, which I appreciate. But yeah, the biggest thing I'm noticing about the hybrid is it's a lot quieter, and I don't have to get into the throttle as much for it to move. Like, the power you get out of the electric side of things with this is so much that you pretty much can just be like partial throttle. I can hear the engine running. It's probably charging the battery right now, which is pretty cool. Actually, there's probably like a hybrid tab right here. Yeah, power flow right there that I can show you, so you guys can see exactly what's happening. Okay, so we are going to get our full-blown acceleration here. Huh, interesting. Very, very interesting. So I'm going to kind of slow down here and get another little acceleration. Yeah, definitely, the big thing I'm noticing here is this, like I said, just a little bit noisier compared to the 1.5. That is interesting, that is for sure. I just missed the turn there. Whatever, we'll just keep going. So let's kind of sum things up here with this hybrid, and then, like I said, in the main comparison, I'll have like a quick after clip so that you guys can get kind of like my final impressions with hybrid versus non-hybrid. But if this is just the regular hybrid review, this will be your impressions for that video. I like how it drives a lot. It's pretty seamless with the transition from having the engine on to off, which is great. Acceleration's solid. It does feel quicker than the non-hybrid. Now, I wouldn't say that it's like way quicker. It's quicker, but it's not like an insane amount quicker, actually. Off the line, you do feel quite a big difference because, again, since the 1.5 is turbocharged, then it's going to have a little bit of turbo lag before it gets up and moves, whereas this, right off the bat, and then you get into the naturally aspirated engine, and then it kind of, again, it feels so similar to the 1.5 with the acceleration. So, I mean, it'd be tough to choose between both of them, that's for sure. But overall, I think that Honda did a great job with this hybrid. Fuel economy rating's where it needs to be, and you know, I'd say overall with the driving experience, it does feel more premium than the regular powertrain. The only downside that I can really think of is the fact that it just is a little bit noisier when you are full throttle with this versus with the 1.5T. So I just sat for a second and kind of thought about both of the vehicles back to back to kind of, I guess, formulate an opinion in terms of which one I would go for. And here's the deal. If you're going to be doing a bunch of highway driving, I would just stick with the 1.5T because the highway fuel economy rating between both the vehicles is so close. Yes, this still does technically get better fuel economy on the highway compared to the 1.5T, but the cost difference, I just don't know if this justifies itself compared to the 1.5T with highway driving. However, if you're going to be doing a bunch of city driving, then I think that this is the one that I would go for because, again, having that, you know, all EV mode where you are having like a silent driving experience, I think is awesome. And the fuel economy difference between both of them with the city driving is huge. I mean, 27 miles per gallon versus 40 miles per gallon. That is massive. And so, you know, over, you know, not a super long period of time, you would be able to make up the cost difference in fuel savings, especially with how expensive gas is today. And so that's kind of how I would split it up overall. If I was going to be doing city driving, I'm going to get the hybrid. If I'm going to do highway driving, I'm going to get the 1.5T. But overall, I don't really feel like one powertrain is objectively better than the other. They're just different. Let me know which one you guys would choose. That's gonna sum things up with our comparison between this Honda CR-V hybrid and this regular Honda CR-V. Hopefully that helps you out if you are comparing both of the vehicles. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Stockton 12 Honda here in Utah for giving me some time with both the CR-Vs. Check out the info in the description down below. Ask for John if you have any questions. I'll see ya.